So you may have seen that I completed the Insane trilogy on PS4 back in the day, but that game certainly wasn't my introduction to the Crash Bandicoot franchise. My introduction was Crash Bandicoot The Wrath of Cortex, or as Kadikarus might call it, Cringe Bumberclart The Joaquin Phoenix. So that was the first Crash PS2 game that I revisited, and it's alright. Oh, an invisible wall, how nice of you. The other two Crash games that I played growing up were Crash Nitro Kart, which I played quite a lot of, and Crash Tag Team Racing on PSP, which I also played quite a lot of, but I'm only really looking forward to replaying Nitro Kart out of the two. But I haven't gotten to Nitro Kart just yet. Instead, I wanted to try a Crash game from that era that I didn't get a chance to play back in the day. And yep, it's this game. When I first played this game, I quickly encountered a problem.
It is I, Aku Aku. My duty is to protect you.
No, it isn't the fact that Aku Aku is explaining his powers as if we've never played the games before. No, I encountered the problem after I was dicking around and discovered that, unsurprisingly, Crash cannot swim. No, the problem is that those cutscenes will always trigger whenever you reach that particular part of a level, and they're unskippable. Overall, the game's cutscenes are pretty amusing. It's just a shame that you might end up sitting through some of those cutscenes 3 or 4 times if you get stuck on a particular part.
I'm okay! The spikes broke my fall. What have I got? What have I got?
You can skip the pre-rendered cutscenes, but there's only like 5 or 6 of them in the entire game. Now, Crash Twinsanity brought more of an open world feel to the series, and that came with some changes to the fundamentals of Crash Bandicoot's gameplay, which is fine, but it's quite odd how some of the reoccurring things in the original trilogy and Wrath of Cortex were just tossed aside without any explanation or warning. I'd be going out of my way to break every box in sight because I was used to the whole break every box in a level to get a gem thing. It was only after I looked up what you required to get 100% completion in this game that I realised you didn't actually have to break every box in the game. But the most annoying change in this regard is that they nerfed Aku Aku. You used to get 1 or 2 more chances if you got hit by an enemy or you were in the radius of a crate explosion. Now at any point if you touch a nitro crate, you instantly die. What the fuck are you even doing here then? If you collect 3 masks in this game, you are still invulnerable, but invincibility suddenly doesn't let you insta-kill enemies anymore. Like, why change that? By the way, why is Crunch in this scene? Cortex had him under mind control. There's no way he'd accept any sort of invitation from him at this point. Then you have one of those ball platforming bits, except the ball is Crash and Cortex biffing it out. I think Crash might actually be enjoying the fight a bit too much. Then at one point after Cortex did his follow me Crash thing, Crash was briefly moving around without actually moving. That was the first hour of my Crash Twinsanity experience, and I thought it was pretty good, so I kept playing, and I ultimately beat the story. And I did record some of my gameplay along the way, but often it was because the game was starting to piss me off. Like this worm chase bit, because 1, somehow these tribes people could damage you before they've even swung their spear at you, and 2, how did that belly flop miss? How did that one miss? Fuck you. Oh yeah, you get to play as Cortex as well, and it kinda sucks ass, because his aiming system sucks ass. Alright, let's shoot this last box. I said the box. The box. The box. Yeah, cheers boss, appreciate it. I found the Nina Cortex bits a lot more fun overall, though those levels certainly came with their own problems. Nina's grappling mechanic is fine, although you kinda have to just spam the grapple button whenever you're doing the jumping thing in order for it to work, and then sometimes during the boss fight it'll just decide to not work. I also enjoyed Cortex telling me to hurry or I'd miss the bus 4 times because I couldn't make this completely normal jump for some fucking reason.
Hurry, Nina, or you'll miss the bus! You'll miss the bus!
There isn't any other point in the game where you have to spin to get better distance on a jump. I don't think that was meant to happen. Oh, and then I really love the part where the bus was chasing me down. Hey, you're doing alright, but unfortunately you're 0.2 of a second too slow. So we're going to yank Nina to the side without warning so that she can fall to her death. This segment might be alright if it was programmed by someone that actually knew how to program games. And this is the bit after you manage to avoid the bus. Nothing too demanding, fight off a few ants. Oh, there's Cortex, and then you run into the next room, and here comes a boss battle. Oh, I guess I got burnt by the open organ valve. Wait, you have a boss battle and no checkpoint immediately outside, so you have to do 2 minutes of this platforming nonsense to get to it again? And here's when I ran out of lives after failing that boss battle again. Let's see where the game resets you to. Wait, where is this? Hang on. Is this the bus chase again? Sorry, am I playing Crash Twinsanity or Jack 2? I also had a glitch where I started flickering in and out of existence, and whenever I tried to jump, I would just immediately get smushed down mid-jump. So any platforming involving those bouncing crates just became impossible. But it didn't matter because I wasn't going to progress in the game anyways. This is supposed to trigger a cutscene, but then it didn't. And when I went over to this area, I realized that I couldn't pick up Wumpa Fruits. This area was supposed to be the end of one level and the beginning of another, but I ended up having to reload from the start of that level. Really hope that was just an emulator issue, because that is fucked. Then there's the final boss battle, which will probably take at least a couple of attempts to beat, and whenever the battle starts, it has a pre-rendered cutscene, so you'll always get to skip that. And when I skipped it, the next part would just be in complete silence. I'm pretty sure the first time this played there was sound, but skipping the cutscene just mutes this bit, and then the sound comes back on when the actual gameplay starts. Again, not sure if that's the original game's issue or an emulator issue. And looking back, the final boss fight isn't really all that hard, but it gets harder to strategize on how to beat the next phase of the boss battle when you have to focus so hard in order to beat the previous phase, you know? And I also tried something in the Cortex phase, where the evil twins have like a machine gun and a plasma gun of sorts. I tried to destroy the machine gun first, and after about 50 shots, it became apparent that no, you have to destroy the plasma gun first. Because reasons. The final phase with Crash isn't all that hard either, but was this shot meant to be dramatic? Because to me it just looks like he went into a coma and they plonked him into the seat. And also, why would you let me do that? Crash Twinsanity absolutely clears the wrath of Cortex when it comes to character and level design, humor, an engaging story, music, and just having a generally more interesting gameplay experience overall. Though even when Wrath of Cortex wasn't all that interesting, it at least felt like it was functioning as it was supposed to. Something I feel like I can't always say about Twinsanity. This game definitely made me want to explode with rage a few times. But is it a Crash Bandicoot game if it doesn't make you want to explode with rage? It's also not the longest gaming experience around, but I am glad that I was still able to experience Twinsanity after all this time. It has its ups and downs, we'll say that.